Hello and welcome to Tess Illustrates. Today we are gonna paint one of these small artist trading cards. I already painted 4, as you can see now, and we're gonna paint the 5th one. These little trading cards are for an exclusive Patreon tier, so if you want more info on that, go over there and there's a post where you can see them all. We're gonna dive right into the sketching of the little skull. The total of this illustration took me about 2 hours of film footage I have, but those 2 hours of painting took me the whole day this past Saturday, because I wasn't feeling well. As some of you may know, I'm chronically ill, and it was really bad this weekend. So in that way, art is a bit of a refuge for me. But that does mean that it takes a lot longer because I have to take a lot of breaks. I especially love the painting part with watercolors of art. That's for me the most relaxing, and that was why in the earlier days of my art, so let's say before 2017, I mostly traced all of my drawings to then paint them, because I was only interested in the painting part or the drawing with the colored pencils and not in the actual sketching part. In the past years I've been practicing the drawing, the sketching. I've bought a lot of sketchbook, and I've already filled my first, and all of the others almost half full, so I'm going pretty good, and I improved a lot in my sketching in the past few years. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite part of making art? Is it painting? Is it sketching? Is it line art? I find it curious to see that everyone has a different part of making art that is for them the most relaxing. I've been trying out lots and lots of different things, also in mediums. I've been trying out acrylics and gouache. Also, I've been trying out pastels and a lot of mixed media, like doing base with watercolors and then going over it with colored pencil or micron pens. And I've been trying out markers, both aqua markers and alcohol markers. I've been trying out line art. It's not something I normally do in my style, or I think I don't really have a style yet. I'm still searching. So it's been a lot of experimenting in the last year, and mostly because I wasn't really happy with the results I was getting with my art. It's not that I think it's bad or that it's horrible. I think my art, the sketches are good, and my art of animals is all anatomical correct, and it's realistic. But if I imagine something in my head, I often can't get it onto paper, and that's been something that's been really frustrating for me for the last year, and that I've been trying to get into a different mindset of, if I have made something, that I'm not hating it because it's not what I wanted it to be. It's still good, it's just different, and I will get there with a lot of practice. That in one day I can envision something in my head, and that I can bring it onto paper like it's in my head, but that takes practice, and that will not get there in one day. the point where I am now, where I can draw realistic of photos just out of my head, without tracing or anything, and I can create lots of textures of fur and feathers and create realistic portraits in all different mediums. That took me over 10 to 12 years to get there, so I can't expect for myself to learn a new skill in just a few months. And that's frustrating for everyone, I think, but it's also being realistic. Something else I've been doing is when I catch myself when I'm scrolling Instagram or anything, and I think, oh, I wish I could do that, my art was as good as that, then I, instead of talking my own art down and thinking I will never be as good as them, I'm breaking down their piece into stuff that makes that piece good and what they are doing different than me. What is it in that piece that makes me love that piece so much? And how can I learn from that? And what do I need to practice to learn that? Instead of just breaking my own art down because it is not as good as the art from someone else. Because everyone feels like that every now and then, even the biggest artist on Instagram. Comparing yourself to the Instagram posts of other artists is the worst thing you can do, because they only put up their highlights, the best pieces they make, the best sketches they make, and you see where they are after years and years and years of practice. Comparing yourself and comparing your art to that is not fair, not to yourself and not to that artist. The only thing you can compare your own artist to is the last piece you made. So I made this skull piece, and the only thing I can compare it to that would be fair to myself is the last skull piece I painted. And if I look at all the skulls, all 5 of them I painted, I can see that I got more comfortable with the line art and placing the little mushrooms and everything in the arts, and also I got a bit more freely with the flowing parts that are coming out of the eye and everything. This piece has line art, something I don't really do, and I noticed that I was getting more comfortable doing that through the 5 pieces. And comparing yourself to your own art, every piece you make, you will notice that you make progress every piece you paint. And that's the only way that you're gonna improve. Keep painting and you will get there one day, but not in one day and not in 1 month. Learning how to paint, learning how to draw, learning how to create textures and realistic drawings, stylized drawings, and all different things takes time and takes practice. It takes hard work, and for you to, and for myself to compare that to other artists that have been practicing and painting that subject or that style for ages. That's just impossible. So keep painting and keep practicing and you will get there. And me too. So a little bit about this piece. You have seen me draw and paint. Right now I'm putting in the line art with Ecoline. I got a few colors of that and I was curious to see how to work with it. And in the beginning I thought it was, if it dried, that it would stay there. But you can see when I start painting in with the watercolors, all the base colors, that the pink is smudging a little bit. So the Ecoline is just like watercolors and lifts up again. if you put water on the pages, or if you try to glaze, it's, for my feeling, even a bit more or faster in how it reactivates if it comes in contact with another wet area again while it's already dry. The rest of the black parts in the eye and also the line art that is done with ink, that is not that is permanent, so that it will not reactivate with water, so I don't have to worry about that. Also the blue is also a permanent ink. But I was really in the understanding that Ecline also was permanent if it was dry, but it is not. So that's probably my bad. I didn't read into the medium enough. I do really enjoy this medium. I haven't really painted the full piece with it yet because I just got a few extra colors. In this piece I only had one color and gold, and right now I have bought this 2 little basic sets they sell, primary set and a mixing set, so we will be trying out painting a full piece in it, and I've been really curious to see how it performs, because it's, like I said, my feeling, it reactivates faster than watercolors do already, so that will make glazing and stuff like that almost impossible. Glazing is also really hard on pulp paper, but the paper I'm painting on right now is Canson Monteval paper, and if I'm right, that paper is cotton paper, if I remember that right. I have it right here, but it's cold pressed with a fine grain, and it's cellulose paper. I really thought it was cotton paper, and that also may explain why the layering wasn't going well and why the paint was reactivating so easily again, because glazing over other paints, even if it's watercolor paints on cellulose paper, is almost impossible. I was really in the understanding that this was cotton paper. I've had it for a while, but apparently I haven't been using it enough to remember that it was cellulose paper. Anyhow, we're painting in the rest of the skull with watercolors right now, and you can see, if you look really closely, that here and there the Ecline lines that I put down are spreading a bit. They are reactivating by coming in contact with the water again, and they're just bleeding into the other color. That was something that happened by accident on the first or the second skull I painted, but I kind of liked the effect it gave, and you will see me redefine some of the line art again when I'm done painting with the watercolors. So these lines that I'm painting in now are permanent, so here you will not see the bleeding. The paints I am using are the Van Gogh paints. Throughout this painting I have been trying to keep a limited color palette and also mix consistently with the same paints. I used the Cornicardome red blue, if I'm right, and the indigo for the blue, and I used a yellow. I know exactly where it is on my palette, but I lost the name for a minute. It's the warmer yellow, and that are the only 3 colors I used in this piece. And for the different tones of the mushrooms and the bottom of the mushrooms, the skull itself, and the little leaf-like things I drew, I mixed different tones with them, and some are a bit more yellow, some are a bit more to these purplish side, and I really like the peachy like tone that I used for the skull that you get if you mix that warm yellow and that warm purple. Right here you can see me redefine some of the lines I made with the equiline, so the skull gets a bit more that it's a bit more visible where all the shapes are again, because it lost a bit of that with the painting. The last thing I will be doing is adding some gold, and after the video stopped I realized that I forgot to add some white, so that I did off camera. I'm doing that with a white ball pen, a gel pen, if you were wondering. But that's it for the video. I want to thank you for watching this video, and I also want to thank my Patreons, Hans and Perosu. You are supporting this channel and me, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm looking forward to seeing you all next time. Bye!